Hello everyone, it's me, Rhea Peterson. How's it going? Today we are doing a day in the life. I thought I would just kind of share with you a mostly typical day in my life, and it usually starts pretty early in the morning. On this day, it was a training day. I'm training for a marathon, and luckily it was a short distance. My husband was out of town, so I am flying solo for a few days, and I've got to use my treadmill. So I am just getting up early, getting ready to go get some exercise. I'm going to do just a 3-mile run and then some strength training and kind of get the day started. So typically when I get up and get ready, I am not one to lay out all of my workout clothes, which usually sets me back. So it takes me a little bit longer to get ready, but I use that time to kind of wake up so that I have at least like 30 minutes or so before I actually go start exercising, just so my body is a little bit more awake and I hydrate. I get most of my water in the mornings, so I have a cup upstairs, I have one downstairs, you can see, and then I also use my water bottle. I had a particularly late night and I knew that I was going to be tired, so I did set out a little bit of pre-workout. I'm just using I'm using their Gamer. It's not their like crazy caffeinated one. It just gives you just enough to kind of wake up a little bit. And now here we are in my little makeshift gym here in our garage. I wear different shoes depending on what I'm doing when I exercise. So for running, I have a number of pairs of running shoes, but right now I'm just wearing my Asics Nimbus 23s. It's an easy run. I'm not doing any type of speed work. I'm not going to wear any carbon plates or anything. I'm just wearing my comfy shoes, doing a nice easy run. It is kind of humid in the garage, so I get a little sweatier than what maybe my heart rate would say, but I just get those 3 miles in, and then I am going to switch my shoes and do some strength training, especially when I'm in a training cycle for a race. Usually my races are like half marathons, but this time it's a full marathon. I like to do upper and lower body, and I do a lot of unilateral work, meaning I train one side and then I train the other side to work on balance and making sure that my muscles are even. On this morning, I did a Sydney Cummings workout because even though I'm a personal trainer, I do not like coming up with something when I'm by myself. So I like to have someone to work out with, and so Sydney comes up with the workout for me, and she's my workout buddy. But now that the workout is done, I just did some stretching and I'm putting my weights away, and everybody else in the house is waking up. So I'm going to check on everybody, get Harley out so she can go to the bathroom, and then take a shower and get ready for the day. Now, I debated on whether or not I should take you through my full face care routine. I used to have really terrible cystic acne, and only up until the last almost year now have I had clear skin, and I'm in my mid-30s, so it's been a lot. But I used to not wear makeup at all because it really irritated my skin. But now that I've got my acne under control and, oh, sad Alice, now that that's all kind of under control, I can actually wear makeup, which I feel like is the opposite. Like, people used to be like, well, I used to wear makeup all the time and now I go makeup free, but it's like, no, I can actually wear makeup now. And so I do, and it's very exciting. I go for a very natural look, but it's still exciting to just be able to like put it on and not worry about getting a cyst on my face or something, or breaking out or getting a rash. So it's a very exciting moment now that I can wear makeup, but it is kind of an involved routine for my skincare. A lot of different creams, and I even take a medication for it at night. It's a whole thing. But I mean, if you're interested in knowing my routine, I would be happy to do a video, but it is a little involved. But now that I'm ready, I did convince Alice to go in her room and get dressed, which I did help her do. And now we're downstairs and it's time to get breakfast and our various bean juices going, as I like to call them. Mom's bean juice and then the kids' bean juice. The kids all make hot chocolate. I make a cup of coffee, which does take me nearly all day to drink. I just sip and it's just enough. If I drink it all, I get anxious, but if I sip it throughout the day, it really helps my ADHD. So I just try to be careful and balance it out. But now I'm just helping the kids get their breakfast going, and I will also attempt to make my breakfast. It's a lot of stop and go for me. If I got ready a little sooner in the morning and got my workout in, I could probably eat, but I'm usually not hungry until around the same time the kids are. So I just work around them. But we did have plans to go to the park today, so my kids are very motivated to get through their chore charts. So once we finish breakfast, we will start doing that. So my kids are pretty independent, but especially my oldest, they kind of avoid some of the healthier options that I keep available in the fridge. So I was convincing them to have some blueberries, but I had prepped a bunch of breakfast burritos the week before to make it a lot more convenient for breakfast. And so I was cooking up one of those, and because I'd done strength training and running, I needed a little more protein. And so I don't like to just drink it. I mix it into yogurt. So I just had a plain yogurt. I mixed in the coffee ice cream ghost protein, just like half a scoop. And then I topped it off with some homemade granola and strawberries, and it was so good. Like, I've come up with a lot of concoctions. I'll do this for dessert with like a chocolate protein and Oreos, but that one, I would eat that one at night. That was really good. And even just thinking about it, now I really want some. But the kids were doing some reading, and now it's time to do Alice's hair. I enjoy doing her hair, but it can be a little stressful. She's very wiggly, and I don't just like give her a tablet or anything to look at. So we just make it work and get through it. And she starts out her hair looks very good, but by the end of the day, it looks like I just don't ever do her hair because it always falls out because she's very busy. But we went and we made her bed, and I help her especially with her chore. We have a jar with chores on the stick now, and it has been going really well. Like, it's been working. It's taken a lot of things off my plate, and I'm able to focus more on some of the bigger ticket items in the house that need to be done without worrying about the other little things. But every day my kids pick a stick from the chore jar. So Alice got tidy up the mudroom. Mr. Callum here got wiping off the counters, which he did try to kind of pawn off on his sister, but I am always there watching.
I'm a beautiful Allah.
Okay, so Hugo did do his chores, but he is older. He's a little more independent, and all he had to do was empty the stair basket. So he had it easy on this day, but they did everything that was required. So now I am packing up a bag to go to the park. And I've talked about this bag before. I love this little bag. I'll link it in the description box. It's really handy. It's just a backpack, and it gets really small, so it's really great to travel with as like a day bag. But I just packed up some snacks. Cal wanted to bring his RC car, so we're gonna pack all that up. But I did take advantage of the trip and put some of the donations that have been piling up in my garage in the car, and we are going to make a quick stop at the donation center to drop off that stuff before we hit the park.
My best friend didn't care about the rules, good on the weekends. I'll be in fools, drifting to deep space. So brave and so stupid, just like the movies. I was gonna stay in the fight with you, just thinking we would do this until we couldn't do it. Each and every high
managed to make it home from the park just in time to make lunch. So we are going to have a quick lunch, and then my kids get to have a little bit of screen time. And it was Alice's turn to pick a show, and she picked The Bubble Numbs, which is just some YouTube show, but it's fun. But while the kids do that, I take advantage of them being in one spot, and I am getting the kitchen cleaned up. I've got to unload the dishwasher, get things put away, and then I do have a little project. I'd ordered some like silicone ice trays because I like to make like an iced coffee at the end of the day, like before I make dinner typically, but it's always decaf, and it always gets watered down because of the ice cubes. And so I ordered some ice trays to make like some decaf ice cubes, which they were not ready in time on this day to have in my drink. But I have since had them, and it did work, and I'm very proud of myself. I recognize that I did not come up with this idea, but I was very proud that I followed through on it, and now I have something to make my drink better, which is always awesome. Also, I did start using that Thieves cleaner, and I don't hate it. Well, while the coffee kind of comes to more of a room temperature, I am going to kind of restock all the snacks in the pantry. Everything was getting low. It was getting just kind of messy in there. So I am taking advantage of my kids being in one spot, and I'm going to get that taken care of.
You've been crying over him for a lifetime, so if you don't mind, we will dance till it's way past late. Another course that we can fly with the baseline. I know. Boys be boys, ain't no excuse, babe. Now hey you, oh hey you, I know you can find someone better. Oh hey you, oh hey you.
Well, the coffee needed to come a little bit more to room temperature before I wanted to put them into the ice trays. So I was running upstairs to kind of tidy up the laundry room, discovered I'd forgotten a load of laundry in the washing machine. I was a little annoyed, but thankfully it was activewear. And so I threw the clothes that I'd worn that morning into the wash and just washed it all again. I always do an extra rinse and spin on my activewear anyways. I think it helps kind of keep it from getting like that set in smell that activewear gets, but it was still kind of annoying. But there was no point in letting it ruin my day. But now it's time to finally make the ice cubes. I feel like I've talked about these ice cubes a lot, but I was really excited about it, and so I wanted to share it with you. I'll link these ice trays. They're really cool. They did a really good job, and they came with a container to put them in, which you'll see later. I will put in a clip of me fixing or putting them back in later. Once that was all done, my kids were done with their show. They're out on the trampoline, but I am just going to do a little bit of editing, uploading all the footage actually from this day that I'd done so far, just so it could be in there. And I just kind of work on things in little bursts throughout the day when I get windows. I don't work out every single morning. So on mornings when I'm not working out, I usually get up around the same time and work on editing or emails or whatever I need to do. But I like just having that quiet time without interruptions. But once I checked on the kids, I went upstairs because my timer that I had set on my watch went off, and I went and I switched over the laundry. I don't always put all the activewear in the dryer, but on this day, everything in there could go in there. But I had a dinner that was not something my kids had had before planned, and so I am going to bake some incentive, if you will, bribery, if you must. I've got a snack and I'm watching a show. I'm watching Suits. Netflix just got it, and I thought I'd give it a gander. I don't hate it. It's not bad. I don't watch a ton of new shows or anything. I usually just kind of stick to what I know, like The Office and friends, but I'm trying out Suits and it's fun. But I am going to make some brownies, and my always forever faithful helper is going to show up here in a minute, and I'm going to put her to work and she can do it while I watch my show. But I am going to get the brownies going in the oven and then kind of move on to some dinner prep. I had forgotten that we clean up after we do stuff, and I put that in the oven and realized Alice was already cleaning the sink, which was adorable. But we had a few minutes before I needed to start dinner, and Alice really wanted to make paper airplanes, so I had to oblige. I do play with my kids. I do spend a good amount of time with them. They're also very independent, so I get some good windows. But Alice needed me, and so here I am. We're making paper airplanes, and I have to say, these were some of my best work. On to dinner. And if any of you have watched basically any meal prep video or anything with me, you know that I don't stick to recipes. I have a recipe right there. I'm making chicken Parmesan casserole, and I looked at it and realized I didn't have marinara sauce, so I'm making some out of tomato sauce and tomato paste and seasonings. And then I just realized that this one was too much work and I couldn't be bothered, so I'm just going to make up my own recipe. I have the flavor profile. I can do what I want. So I've got some noodles going on the stove. The brownies are ready. They smell amazing. I love brownies. They're probably one of my favorite desserts. But I'm just working on dinner. I'm scrappy. So I just took what I had. I've got some spinach that I wanted to add into the pasta, and I'm just kind of taking the basic idea from the recipe and making it my own, which I typically do. So I took the pasta, I mixed in some of the marinara. I didn't press play for any of it, and so you don't get to see me make it, but I chopped up rotisserie chicken. I put in marinara, mozzarella, and Parmesan with the spinach and the seasonings, which were Italian seasoning, garlic powder, onion powder, salt and pepper. And then I topped it with some panko. I put breadcrumbs on top and a little more Italian seasoning, sprayed it with avocado oil, and popped it in the oven. I'll just type that out for you and put it in the description box. It did turn out really, really good. But I decided, since I was solo this night, I was going to do some of the nighttime routine early before dinner. So I'm just kind of closing up the living room. I cleaned up the couch, vacuumed up any crumbs or anything from snacks and just general existing. And then when my kids came to me, I told them that the living room was sleeping, so they couldn't be in there anymore. And they mostly listened, and I love them. But here's dinner. It looks really good. It turned out really, really good. And I'm so sorry I didn't get any of the footage. But, and here I also made dinner for Harley, which was just crunchy circles. And she's never complained about any meal I've ever made her, ever. But here you go. Here's our dinner. We sit down, we have dinner together. We have very funny conversations. Hugo is at that age where he asks pretty deep questions, actually. But we had a good dinner, and now we're gonna, pound some brownies. I absolutely cut myself a piece of brownie directly out of the middle. And ironically, I am trying to cut back on gluten right now. So did I feel amazing after dinner? No. Did it taste delicious? Absolutely. But we are just cleaning up. I'm actually better at getting the kids involved with cleanup when Connor's not home. And Connor, if you're watching this, I don't know what our problem is when we're together. I don't know what the problem is, but the kitchen is clean. The living room is still sleeping. And now we're upstairs doing cleanup. I have a lot of footage proving that when I leave the room, my children do not do much when it comes to cleaning up. And it's nice to know I have receipts at this point. But we did manage in the end. I had to go help Alice because it is a bath night. So Alice was in the bath and I entrusted with the boys with cleaning up the playroom. And they did better than I thought they would, but still, I still have some footage showing that they could have been a little more productive. Also, I love them very much. But now the boys are taking a bath. I'm getting Alice's hair combed. I have curly-ish hair. It's gotten curlier as I've gotten older, especially with each consecutive pregnancy. But Alice has curly hair, and I don't know how to take care of it. Like, I don't know the right things to do. If you have curly hair or you have children with curly hair and you have any advice, if you see these videos and you're like, oh, Rhea, please help me. I'm trying, but it's hard. I'm really worried that I'm ruining it. I don't know how to do curly hair. But now we are just getting our teeth brushed. The kids floss their teeth on their own every night, and then I brush their teeth, and then they can go over on them, or they can do it themselves too, but they brush their own teeth in the morning. But bedtime, mom and dad need to go over it. And Callum wanted to grow his hair out, and it's crazy long, so now I have to brush his hair like I brush his sister's hair, but it's fun to spend that little extra time with him. But now we're just at the very tail end of things. I'm not gonna lie, on this day, by the end of the day, I was completely wiped. I am so tired. But we were just powering through. I'm reading with Alice. Callum came to join us a little bit, and he was helpful. Turn the light off so I could finish up doing bedtime with her. And then I went into the boys. Connor usually reads to the kids at night and does the bedtime stuff, so I'm a little out of my element with bedtime, but it's still fun. I do enjoy this time with them, but we're just kind of winding down. I'm gonna go put on some jammy pants and come in, and I'm reading Harry Potter to them, but that's it. That is a whole day. And this was fun to share. I hope you enjoyed this. I really appreciate your time. If you are not already, please consider liking and subscribing. But other than that, I'm going to get these kids to bed, and then I am also going to go to bed. I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you next time. Bye.